Hello, I'm Lucas DeGuara, and today I'll be presenting to you two amazing short film concepts. Now, before I begin, I feel that I should share some of my brainstorming and concept designs. Now, although my brainstorming was simple, I came up with 4 ideas: a Western-style film set in the Australian outback, a horror film following the antagonist, a documentary-style film following the life of a scarf, and a war film about 2 ex-weapon manufacturers escaping from their past. Additionally, I took a deep dive into various film genres, including comedy, documentary, epic western, horror, and film. But ultimately, the concepts I've decided on are a war film and my scarf film. Now, firstly, my war film, The Fleeing Fight. This film is set in the war and futuristic genre and follows 2 former weapon manufacturers in the fallout of a futuristic version of World War II. They're tasked with flipping their lives upside down and escaping the ever-approaching Red Army. However, eventually they meet an untimely demise. Now, in terms of the characters in my film, there are 3 main ones and an array of side characters, including Leopold Klein, Otto Strauss, Fritz, an array of guards, and a flurry of workers. Now, given that my film is set in a futuristic world, I was tasked with designing futuristic characters and costumes, and it's for this reason that I've decided to use the works of Trisha Biggar as inspiration. Trisha is an amazing costume designer and maker, and she has most notably worked on the Star Wars films. She was tasked with creating costumes for desert, water, city, plus many, many more. The creator of Star Wars is even quoted saying that her costumes are an integral part of the Star Wars films and what makes them what they are. She has a special ability to use old clothing items and turn them into new and fantastic ones. It's for all of these reasons that I've decided to take a massive amount of inspiration from her works for my film. I will now take you scene by scene through my film. The opening shot is of Leopold reading through a newspaper and finding out about Hitler's death. Following this, Leopold begins informing Otto of what had happened and their plan to escape. They then gather all of their guards and inform them to shut down the weapons factory by destroying all of the machines, killing all of the workers, then burning the factory down, essentially removing any proof that the factory was there. Next, all of the guards are seen equipping themselves with their weapons. Preceding this, the guards begin killing all of the workers and destroying all of the machinery. I will then have an outside shot of the factory burning down. Our next shot is of Leopold and Otto inside the factory with the burning of the machines in their background, discussing their plan and their means of escape. There will then be a shot of Leopold and Otto escaping the burning building. Then, Leopold and Otto running around and taking refuge in an abandoned store. We will then see a group of Russian soldiers arriving with one of Leopold and Otto's former guards, Fritz, giving them information about their whereabouts. Leopold and Otto then attempt to escape the Russian guards. However, lastly, Leopold and Otto are seen lying on the ground after being killed by one of the Russian guards. Now, like mentioned before, I have 2 concepts. I will now be taking you through my second concept, Life of a Scarf. Life of a Scarf is shot from the perspective of a scarf and follows it for over 30 years, from when it's first knitted to when eventually it's passed on to the next generation. Life of a Scarf has many characters, obviously the scarf, the grandmother, the grandson, the great-grandson, and a whole collection of other characters seen throughout the film. Life of a Scarf is set in various Australian homes and all around this beautiful country. My film Life of a Scarf contains a variety of unique and interesting camera angles, much like Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan is one of the most celebrated film directors in the past 20 years. His use of practical effects and strategic camera work are absolutely amazing. Whether it's destroying a real 747 aeroplane for Tenet, planning an entire cornfield for Interstellar, or recreating a real nuclear explosion for Oppenheimer, there's nowhere where he will draw the line. He's also known for his very strategic camera work, which helps to convey his message. Additionally, his use of makeup and prosthetics is very, very impressive. A prime example of this is in The Dark Knight Rises, in which the main antagonist's face is covered throughout the whole film with makeup and prosthetics, I'll be doing something similar to this. However, rather than using makeup and prosthetics, I'll be using strategic camera work and lighting to hide the characters' faces. I will now run through scene by scene. The opening shot will contain a shelf with a variety of different pieces of sewing equipment. Then there will be a shot of the grandmother creating the scarf. Then you will see the grandmother gifting the scarf to her grandson. Following this, the grandson will open up the box containing the scarf, then he will be putting on the scarf. Then you will see the grandson playing with the scarf when he is little, the grandson wearing the scarf when he is a teenager, the grandson wearing the scarf in his early 20s. These last three scenes will all be in a time lapse. Then the scarf being packed into moving boxes, then the scarf being moved to a new house, the grandson opening the box with the scarf being disregarded and thrown into a pile of boxes, a time lapse of what the scarf sees through the box over the years, the box with the scarf in it being found by the grandson after a decade, a shot of the grandson sitting in a chair with the scarf in his lap, the grandson packing the scarf into a box, the grandson gifting the scarf to his son, and then the great-grandson putting the scarf on. After much consideration and thinking, I've decided that I will be creating my scarf film, as I feel it is the most easily obtainable and the story that I would most be able to do, whereas my war film is a little bit too complicated and will require a much larger budget for me to create. I'm really looking forward to getting to make this film. Thank you all for watching.